Quincy Police Department that someone cut a hole in the fence near a Verizon cell tower at the Village of Quincy office. Multiple items were stolen, including copper wire and job-specific equipment that belongs to an electric company based in Illinois. We spoke to the owner of Springfield Metals in Calhoun County to find out more about this copper stealing trend. They turn people away if they're suspicious or if the items look suspicious.
Most of the time we won't buy it, but there is a time or two where people will slide through, and then we do involve the police and have them go through their investigation to figure out if these guys are a part of a ring or whatever they're doing.
As for the Quincy theft, police say they are in the early part of their investigation, but they have multiple leads. Copper prices are at an all-time record after President Trump imposed a 50% tariff on copper imports this month. According to the Wall Street Journal, that put the metal up more than 35% this year. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert will be ending in the spring of next year. CBS says it's a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late-night television. They say it's not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters.
So Colbert's quitting.
CBS says the show has been #1 in late-night television for 9 straight seasons. They sang about never breaking the chain, and that could be true. Music legends Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham are stirring up rumors they may be in for a reunion, both separately posting song lyrics on their individual social media pages Thursday, sparking a flurry of excitement and hope online that the notoriously on-again, off-again musical cohorts would rejoin forces. Nicks, Buckingham, Mick Fleetwood, and Christine McVie, who died in 2022, were part of Fleetwood Mac beginning in the 1970s after the band was initially formed in 1967. Nicks and Buckingham have a lengthy personal and professional history of coming together both musically and romantically and breaking up.
So my sister and I saw Fleetwood Mac in Philly in 2019.
Was it good?
And they were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the time where they were off, that Buckingham was not part of it.
Yes.
And it took 2 guitarists to replace him.
Yeah. Well, they're getting to that point where you want to be on good standing. You know what I mean? They've had a long career. You don't have no way.
Kirk, thank you very much. Rotary Park, what do we see flying around here? Bugs. That's about it. It is a live look in Coldwater this morning.
So, what's happening, Tyler? I can't say because due to what's happening this week, due to having Sunday, this Saturday, tomorrow, there might not be a video tomorrow. I had plans for tomorrow. They might get canceled due to the severe weather. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Time frame for this late morning through early evening tomorrow, so maybe a 7 to about an 8-hour window. We're going to time out the arrival of stores for
so between that's gonna put
return next week.
okay.
Hey, Jeff, Kalamazoo Restaurant Week is underway. Why this event is important for the city and the special offers you can enjoy.
So I don't know what we're doing this week.
Doctors say it's time to think about back to school. Why they say now is the time to bring your child in for a visit. And their next half hour. With next year's state budget uncertain, programs that many rely on are in trouble. How kids across Michigan could be affected.
And in the 11%.
So some things are going to be happening in a few weeks. Some things are happening next week. I can't wait for. Next week is special, real special. I can't say what it is. But yeah, next week, if something special happens next week, that's all I'm going to say. Next week, I got something special coming on. So, Saturday and Sunday, we got filming to do, maybe. We'll see. I got to do a couple things still. I got to clean up some cameras. I got to make sure the cameras are fully charged. And that's about it. Because I got plans coming up in a couple. So tomorrow or tonight, I have to start charging up some cameras. We're not going to the diner today, guys. I don't have the money to go to the diner. I'm saving up money for something else. And if you guys know me, you guys know how I am with some things. But yeah, I'm saving some money up. Have to go to the bank today, put some money in the bank today for something. And that's about it. That's all I'm going to say. We're in 412, right? Yeah, 412. I think. Yeah, we're on 412.
In a Jurassic World, every Jeep vehicle is Jurassic.
OBTS4 E12. I had a Jeep. It didn't work out. I don't know if it's Jeeps.
It's a white knuckle ride for Sludge. Climbing a mountain with an angry load.
Cap Bowls.
Cameron Smith carves a
Ooh.
colossus. Out of the Nullarbor and straight into trouble.
Starting the wheel spin already.
And Steve Graham's dodging downpours.
Right into it. Under it.
And damage on an urgent mission in the wet.
Ooh.
New Zealand's pristine rivers, rolling hillsides, and soaring mountain peaks draw tourists from across the globe. But expat Kiwi Sludge Andrews has come home to work.
Why do these have to draw so slow?
Battling bad weather
Stunning that.
and
Deer.
wild beasts.
Yeah, I know what a Jago can't stop. Liquid never stops.
New Zealand is home to some of the world's toughest trucking runs. Single-lane bridges, narrow, precarious, winding roads.
More dangerous than Australia?
It's a world away from the straight and very open roads tanker driver Sludge is used to. Hauling fuel on marathon Aussie outback runs. And now, Sludge is facing an even bigger challenge. Arthur's Pass, a
Ooh.
road spanning New Zealand's highest mountain range.
Well, I don't want any ups going up that hill or going down backwards. So it'll be the day not to be missing the gears.
From Ranfurly in New Zealand's South Island, Sludge will clock over 560 gear grinding kilometres to reach his destination of Greymouth.
Greymouth, New Zealand?
Even for cars. Put a wheel in the wrong place on this run, and it won't end well. If that wasn't hard enough, Sludge is carting one of the most unstable loads around, 30 tonne of live cattle. He's here all the way from Western Australia to help out one of his oldest mates, Hoggett,
Oh, cruising along, mate.
who's giving Sludge some nerve-wracking news. His next route.
Yeah, she's a one we rode through there, Paul.
Yeah. It's a long time since I've been up through there.
You got heavy wits about you.
Right.
It's bloody steep.
Sludge will take it on
No, well, not. The done me.
in a rig he has never driven before.
Is that the breakdown there, Cheese?
Yeah, I think so.
This one here, that's the break.
Yeah.
He can joke now, but tomorrow's run is no laughing matter. It's dawn, deep
No,
in
he's
the
joking,
South
right?
Australian outback.
Get up and have a bit of a pre-check there, make sure we can go out there and do the job.
Heavy haulage expert Cameron Smith is checking and rechecking his gear.
All the tyres look like they should make it.
The 40-year-old has been hauling oversized loads for 15 years.
Wow.
Exciting job. That's what we do every day.
Cameron's specialty? Mine site plant relocations.
Pick up machines to take from one side of Australia to the other.
Today, Cameron's task is to truck this.
Wow.
130 tonne dump truck, 8 metres wide, 6.5 metres high, so we've got a few issues with power line.
And that's just the start. Wider than 4 family cars and weighing more than a house, this $3 million truck was never built for the open road.
We don't want to get stuck, because if we get stuck, we'll never get out.
From the Lee Creek coal mine, Cameron needs to move the monster dump truck along narrow roads to Perth, over 2,600 kilometres away. The first challenge is to load the mega truck onto the back of Cameron's own truck.
So hopefully we can get into the mine, get it loaded fairly quick and beat the heat.
The Lee Creek coal mine shut down 3 months ago.
we'll get in and hopefully we'll go smoothly.
To support the mammoth load, he needs to widen
Hello.
his trailer to 4.5
I was watching Channel 3. I changed it to something
as
else.
far as it will go.
So yeah, we're just doing an AM stream. I can't wait till next week because next week's be special. But today we're gonna stay here for a little bit before I have to do something. So that's what I'm gonna do this morning. I don't really have to do today until later on. So yeah. I already watched Channel 3. The way it looks like I might be postponing something I was gonna do tomorrow. Due to the weather, I might have to postpone my idea for tomorrow. I might be going to the zoo today. I might be working at the popcorn stand today.
That's the only day Cameron can get this monster through the city. Miss that deadline.
I might be going to the zoo today. I'm not sure. We'll find out because I have to go to town today to the local game store to see if they got anything I want. Just gonna look around and maybe do a quick vid there. Who knows? We'll see what happens today. But yeah,
In Perth, Steve Graham is
We'll see what
preparing to
happens.
dive deep into the lion's den.
the zoo's closed today, but the popcorn stand's open today. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow we have plans for tomorrow that I hope don't get canceled. Which it seems like it might get canceled due to the weather. We'll see.
6,500-kilometer test of endurance into the heart of the Kimberley.
I'll stay on here for a little bit, then I have to do something else. But yeah,
Australia's northwest.
I'm just doing this for a little bit. And I have to charge the cameras, make sure my cameras are charged. Make sure the cameras are charged up enough so we can get enough juice. So yeah, I'm bringing GoPros and a handy cam and air cam. I did not hear that. I just watched Channel 3 before I changed it to this.
Delivering mixed freight to outposts around Fitzroy Crossing before making a final pickup in Balgo and then heading home.
I never heard that.
Getting
No.
the job done will
I'm going to Elkhart tomorrow.
Kimberley at a terrible time.
I'm staying in town. I'm going to be going to the zoo tomorrow, maybe.
But there's
I have to go pick my bicycle. I got my bicycle fixed, so I'm going to pick my bicycle up tomorrow. I have to go to. I have to go up the road. I have to go up the road a little bit, my bicycle, and then maybe do some other things. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
on a routine run.
I might not go to the zoo tomorrow. I might not even go to the zoo because of the weather. But yeah, I gotta pick my bicycle up tomorrow at 9, and that's about it.
His steering tire
So, yeah.
exploded at 100 kilometers an hour.
Wow, 60. Wow.
My experience in my last blowout, we were looking at very close to a right.
Oh, it's okay. Still looking, but I'm gonna wait until I'm gonna try to get a job. I'm gonna try looking again in August. I'm still looking for one. I'm gonna look for more in August.
This is my poor old truck. Doesn't it look sad? When the tyre blew, it's smashed this corner of the bonnet. All this bracketry, this is all bent. Ripped the bottom off the air cleaner.
Wow.
Knocked the front of the fuel tank around, and you can see where the tyres come around and smashed the front of this bull bar down. It's amazing the amount of damage that they do.
And the damage wasn't limited to his truck.
And of course, it buggered my shoulder,
Ooh.
just hanging onto the damn thing.
Wrestling with the steering wheel, Steve tore a tendon in his shoulder.
Ooh.
With an operation in 1 month's time and a job before that, he needs his truck fixed fast.
So that's the new axle, is it?
Most likely.
But there's delays.
Problem up to this point of time has been sourcing parts. The parts are only just getting here now. So
Maybe.
it's the waiting. How are we going for time? When do you reckon? I'm saying it's still waiting parts. We'll be back to probably go 2 weeks away. 2 weeks, yeah. If we can get it to roadworthy, then we can do a trip, bring it back in. That's what we'll do.
Steve's getting worried about the upcoming job. If his truck's not ready, he could lose the contract.
I've just come from Perrins where my truck's getting fixed. And I need to know when you think that you might need these units moved out of Balgo so I can start putting everything together, you know? Anyway. Okay. Back like this, so.
That's sooner than he wanted. With his truck at least 2 weeks away from being fixed, one more tiny delay could kill this job.
So yeah, we're just gonna be on here for a while.
In Ranfurly in New Zealand,
I might have breakfast. I might have Pop-Tarts, might not. I'm not sure yet. Just trying to figure out when I have breakfast still. But yeah. I gotta go to the bank later. Next something I definitely have to do is go to the bank. But yeah, right now I'm not doing nothing now.
Notorious Arthur's Pass.
I'll get the gearbox right this morning. Let's start it fresh and have it right before we get over the pass today. A bad start.
First, he needs to collect his freight.
I'll watch this later.
Coming in there.
I'll watch this later. I'll watch these two later when I feel like it. Right now I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna change it up. Since tomorrow. No, I'm not getting drunk tomorrow. Especially not where I'm going. I'm not gonna get drunk. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. But I'm not getting drunk. No. Sorry, that's pre-record stuff. I'm gonna be doing some pre-record stuff in Elkhart. And Sunday I'm doing pre-record stuff in Mishawaka. So yeah, I won't be live. Sorry. That's something I kind of made a yeah. I'm sorry, it's the way I feel like doing it. So yeah. I'm sorry, just the way I feel like doing it.
Friday the 25th of April, 1986.
Like I said, I'm just killing time right now. But like I said, that's what's happening tomorrow. I will not be going live. I'm sorry. I might not even be going tomorrow. Who knows? It depends on the weather. I might change it up and say next week I'll do it. I'm not sure yet. With the severe weather, we're not really sure. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So who knows? Plans might even get scrapped for tomorrow due to the severe weather. So I don't even know if we're even going to do it tomorrow due to the severe weather. That's what it really depends on the weather, guys. If the weather cooperates with me, if it doesn't, then yeah, we're at level 2, so I'm not sure.
Day for the 43,000 inhabitants of Pripyat in the Ukraine. A day that will remain forever engraved in their memory.
Yeah, so we might scrap it for a different day. Heck, I might even just go to Cold War next week. Who knows? I might scrap the whole entire thing and wait until tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna do. Most likely scrap it.
The Vladimir Ilyich Lenin nuclear power plant, where several thousand people go to work.
But I am going to be going to this bank today to put some money in the bank. I got some money. I got some birthday money. I want to put it up so I don't get tempted to spend it.
Something that could save energy.
But yeah, that's about it. I got a few bucks. I'm gonna put in the bank. That's it.
The security systems are deactivated and the experiment begins.
But we'll see what happens. But yeah, if there's severe weather tomorrow, who knows? It depends what time the severe weather starts. We might cancel our project.
While Pripyat sleeps peacefully, the floor of the plant.
So I don't know what we're gonna do yet. We'll find out what we're doing tomorrow. You guys will get an update about that tomorrow. But right now, I might cancel it. I will be getting it back tomorrow, so I'll run my vessel tomorrow. I got it back, so it's gonna be working.
The 1,200-ton cover of the reactor suddenly blasts into the air. An ultra-powerful stream of radioactive vapor releases uranium and graphite over hundreds of meters around the plant. From the gaping hole, a spray of fire charged with radioactive particles in fusion shoots 1,000 meters into the sky.
It's been broken for a couple years. It's been in the garage for a few years. But there's a bicycle shop. I paid him a couple bucks. He's gonna fix my bicycle up. I should get back by tomorrow. This is the third bicycle I have had. This one I'm not gonna get rid of because this is a Swin. I'm not getting rid of it.
Has just taken place. Nor during the night, nor in the early
So we'll see what happens. But yeah,
morning, I got a call around 5 a.m.
it needed an overhaul. It needed an overhaul. It was missing some parts. It needed an overhaul. That's all I'm gonna say. It needed an overhaul. That's all I'm gonna say. It needs new parts.
They are all exposed to lethal doses of radiation.
Things they're doing with my colleagues.
2 men died that night. 28
A colleague of mine, I needed a new seat. It came off with the bicycle. I need a new front wheel. That needs to go on the bicycle. I mean, I have a few things that need to go on it.
For the next 7 months, 500,000 men will wage
So we'll see what happens. But yeah,
with an invisible
if it's fixed, shippy. If it doesn't get fixed, I understand.
that has gone unsung, which claimed thousands of unnamed and now almost forgotten heroes.
But yeah, about so it needs
It
needed an overhaul.
was avoided.
It needs new parts.
10 times more powerful than Hiroshima, which would have wiped out half of Europe.
So I'm gonna say it needed overhaul.
For 20 years by the Soviets and the West alike.
So yeah.
These images have never
Besides
been
that, not much.
They were taken by journalists who were also exposed to nuclear contamination, some of whom later died. Those images tell the story of a hidden war, whose consequences continue 20 years later to worsen the toll of the disaster. This is the true story of the Battle of Chernobyl.
So yeah, that's gonna happen.
By early morning, the clouds are already being contaminated by the radioactive column, rising 1,000 meters into the sky. Igor Kostin was a photographer with a news agency in Novosti. When a friend and helicopter pilot phones him that morning to offer to fly him over Chernobyl, all Kostin knows is that something has happened at the plant during the night. He is the first journalist to witness the gate.
Выше, голова! Держи это место! Держи! Держи! Где дым, идиот? Где дым?
Когда мы подлетели к дому,
When we got close to Block 4 and circled around it,
я не понимаю,
I had no idea of the risks.
и всего того, что произошло. Я открыл
When we
иллюминатор.
flew over the block, I opened the window of the helicopter.
Я понимал, что
I didn't realize then what a big mistake it was.
The thin, translucent smoky seams rising from the ruins is in fact highly radioactive. Kostin is one of the few Chernobyl reporters on the scene in the early hours of the accident to have survived serious exposure to radiation.
когда я открыл люк,
When I opened the window, I couldn't feel a thing.
была какая-то могильная
The ruins of the reactor were below me.
Передо мной
I felt like I was floating in space,
разрушенный реактор,
like in a
и
tomb.
черная, и
A
черная.
real dead silence.
Вот как в
I couldn't
могиле,
even hear the helicopter anymore.
Я
Nothing.
смотрел, все.
A black
No,
and
I'm
tomb.
not going to dance this morning. I have to go into town later, so I'm just gonna stay home for a couple hours.
It is the first picture ever taken.
Next week I'll go to yeah. So yeah, my schedule's gonna be whack next week. So yeah.
All my equipment jammed after a minute. I couldn't understand what was going on. I thought my battery
No.
was dead.
Doesn't need a
I
horn.
managed to take
It just needs repairs. It needs mechanical repairs. Don't do it.
once I returned to Kiev. I processed my pictures, and I noticed the negatives were black, and the colors very poor. I didn't know it yet, but the photos had been exposed to radioactivity.
There's two bike shops now here in town. There's a mobile bike shop, and then there's one over to the Husk Project. I went to the one by the Husk Project because it's on the corner of my house.
Radioactive fallout is going to be 100 times greater than the combined power of the 2 atomic bombs.
So,
dropped on Hiroshima.
yeah, we'll see how this bike shop does. It's a non-profit, so yeah, this would be better for me.
At the Kremlin, 8 hours after the explosion, Gorbachev only has scant information on the situation.
Первая информация была такой.
So we're gonna go in town a little bit, and that's it. The reason I got the bicycle fixed is for two reasons. No, the reason I got the bicycle fixed is for two good reasons. So if I do get a job, I can walk or ride my bicycle to work, and not take the CTA because they jacked the price up to $1.50 now, and I don't want to pay $1.50. I'm cheap. I don't want to pay $1.50. I'll ride to work. I'll walk to work if I get a job here in town.
For
So we'll see what happens.
They know nothing of the disaster 3 kilometers away.
I have done it before, but no, I'm just right from spring through fall.
Was that everything was sound, including the reactor. When I asked the academician Alexander, he told me the reactor was absolutely.
It's a mountain bike, so it'll be pretty good.
Even be set up on a red square. It wouldn't be any different than a samovar, like putting a kettle on red square.
Yeah, right. Like they're looking to happen. Someone watching on TV saying the easiest thing to do: put a kettle on the square, a tea kettle on a park.
Fire at the plant and deaths in the night, but no official information has been released. The white flashes on these images are the results of radioactivity on the film. People in the streets hardly blink an eye at the masked soldiers scattered throughout the city. Colonel Grebenyuk.
So yeah, I don't ride my bicycle in the snow. I walk in the snow to work.
There was a metallic taste in our mouths. An acidity. They say radiation has no taste. It was only later we realized it was the taste of radioactive iodine. While children are still out playing in the squares, Colonel Grebenyuk's men spend the day taking the first readings of radioactivity in the city. In those days, radioactivity was measured in units called rontgens.
Rontgens.
Atmospheric level is about 12 millionths of a rontgen. In Pripyat, by early afternoon, readings are already over 200 thousandths of a rontgen.
Wow.
In other words, 15,000 times higher than usual.
I ride my bicycle. The only time I don't ride my bicycle on the track. I ride my bicycle on the sidewalk. The only time I ride my bicycle on the road is around here. Everyone else does.
250 milli rontgens. And that night, rontgens.
So yeah,
My subordinates.
I know what I'm doing though. So yeah.
The machines were working properly. Or was someone lying to us? We did not know that the reactor was still burning and radiation was still spreading. The snap is sealed in plastic because it's still radioactive. It's thought that a human being can absorb up to 2 rontgens per year without being affected. But the body is lethally contaminated if it receives over 400 rontgens. During that first day, the inhabitants absorb over 50.
No, I already asked. He said no. He's a non-profit, so he gets little to no money.
They would have received a lethal dose in 4 days.
So I'm still looking for. Besides, I can't work at a bike shop.
The colonel sends a patrol to take the first readings at the base of the plant. Their first readings were recorded on the snap. 2080 rontgens. I was worried about my subordinates. How could I send them in there? At these astronomical levels, 15 minutes is all it takes for a human being to absorb a lethal dose of radiation.
He says I can't work at a bike shop. My eyes are bad, so I can't work at a bicycle shop.
The figures provoke a shock. Such a level of radioactivity has never been seen before. Gorbachev hurriedly creates a governmental commission made up of the country's top experts in nuclear energy. This is led by the academician Legasov, a nuclear physicist of international renown.
Yep.
He immediately leaves for Chernobyl at the head of a scientific delegation.
We hoped they would be able to evaluate the situation quickly, but for the first couple of days, they weren't able to tell us anything. It was a dramatic situation. We'd be in session, waiting for information. We were demanding information, but they weren't able to tell us anything.
20 hours after the explosion, the level of radioactivity continues to climb. By now, windows and doors should be sealed and iodine tablets swallowed to counteract the effects of radioactivity. Yet no such orders have been given.
He said it's Friday. They're busy on Friday, so that's the reason we're not going to Dad's.
Despite rising tensions in the city, the population has still not been informed of the situation. Yulia Marchenko was only 5 at the time. She lived in Pripyat with her family. Her father worked at the plant.
My parents took me to the daycare center, like usual. Everything was absolutely normal.
Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Oh, Sunday's the worst. Door dads on Sundays is the worst. I know that from experience. Don't go dads on Sunday.
30 hours after
Go Tuesday. Tuesday and Thursday are the dead days at dads, but Fridays. But Sunday is the worst. Go to dads.
completely evacuated.
The person whose dad's place is a woman. That dad's been around since the 70s, since the mid 70s. To what? Recently, we found someone that was an older person that came there saying, "I remember this place opened up back in the 1970 mid 70s. From the 20s to the 70s, it was a grocery store, like a grocery store thing." But yeah. So no, Dad's place has been around since the 70s. Someone bought it a few years ago before I moved into town, about 12 years over 12. And yeah, I mean, new owners will buy the place, and there's new owners for the place. They just change the name. They don't do nothing. They just keep the name.
Inhabitants are given 2 hours to gather.
And I live in an area where there's only 3 restaurants in the area, and a mile radius of here, and only 2 of them are actually open. One might be reopening soon. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, no.
I had a lot of dolls and wanted to bring them all, but I couldn't. We couldn't even take any more clothes.
I would be.
People have to leave everything they own, their entire
Yeah, there's an Albies here in town, but I don't want to cook. Albies is hiring for cooks. Same with Pizza Hut. They're actually looking for cooks. I don't want to cook. I applied for Little Caesars, which I really didn't want to, but I was asked nicely to do it, so I did. So we'll see what happens if we get a call or something.
They thought they were being lied. They remembered the German occupation and said that in 1941 there were bombs that fell. But now there was nothing. The elderly people didn't believe in an invisible enemy. And there was no time
For home use, yes. Not for the general public, no. I don't like anchovies. I hate fish.
In 3.5 hours, 33,000 people are evacuated tearfully but peacefully.
Nah, I don't know what I'm going to have yet.
Refugees.
I'm not sure I'm going to have yet. I got to put some money. I got to put money in the bank today, so that's all I'm going to do today. Put money in the bank.
And engender fatal cancers.
Ну как я нахожу, что, по-моему, скоро вот может. Скоро люди здесь будут жить. Ну еще что вам сказать? Город должен жить. Красивый город. Вот я сейчас смотрю напротив стадиона. Здесь должны дети играть. Ну, без риска, по-моему, нигде нельзя.
48 hours after the disaster, the only people left in the ghost town are the military personnel and members of the scientific delegation, headquartered at the Pripyat Hotel. As if unaware of the danger, they eat, sleep, and work right on the premises.
These were upstanding people, specialists. I couldn't believe they would do something irresponsible or suicidal. No, it meant they underestimated the situation. The old criteria were no good anymore. There had been nuclear accidents before, in our country as well as in the US, but that information had been kept secret. There had never been an accident of this scope. They even thought the reactor would be back in service by May or June.
Meanwhile, clouds filled with radioactive particles are being blown north by the wind. Between the 26th and the 27th of April, they drift over 1,000 kilometers above Russia, then over Belarus and the Baltics. On the 28th, They hit Sweden, where the rise of radioactivity is detected near one of their nuclear power plants. Soon after, television news alerts the population. Radioactive dust from Chernobyl rains down on Stockholm. The authorities send a squadron of fighter planes to take readings in the clouds. The level of radioactivity suggests there's been a major accident somewhere. 60 hours after the disaster, still no official word has been reported outside of the Soviet Union.
The Swedish Minister of Energy phoned me on the Monday, and I was in my office in Vienna, and she told me that they had measured very much increased radioactivity near our power plant in Forsmark in the east of Sweden, and they had concluded that it must have come from abroad. Did we know anything about it? Was her question.
Not in this town. No, I'm not going to forget. I actually don't want to work at a gas station in this town.
And,
Nothing will get done for me.
They didn't have a nuclear power plant, but if there was anything else that could have happened there, and we contacted the Russians, of course.
What has happened? An explosion, a radioactive cloud,
My baby.
serious contamination. It was Sweden that alerted us.
3 days after the accident, while Gorbachev is still trying to gather data, American and European spy satellites turn to the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
The ruins of the Ukrainian plant.
No offense, I would work at a gas station in this town, but not really. I don't want to. Not in this town just because of my safety.
Shows up clearly in thermal vision.
I don't even like living over here. Tell you, I don't like even living in this part of town. I don't even like living here. I mean, it's a house. It's my property. I got somewhere to be happy at. I mean, for being here than being in an apartment. I mean, here I can do whatever I want. I mean, I can paint the walls any color I want. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, without being worried about yelling. I can yell whenever I want, no problem. I mean, I'm in a nice neighborhood. At night it is, but not really that much. Up the road, a few years ago, up the road there was a shooting. So yeah, this kind of part, but still home.
told them to follow everything that was happening over there and to report the conversations the scientists were having. I told them to report all of that information back to me personally.
So yeah, but yeah,
It's taken over 48 hours to get accurate information about
not really. No, we don't have that problem around here.
the 43,000 inhabitants.
I mean, if I say ICE, they'll run away, but I don't want to say that. If I say policia, they'll run away, but no, we don't have that problem. They live outside of town, so I don't have to worry about that problem. We got a lot of, I don't want to be rude enough to them, but yeah, we got a lot of those here. We got a lot of Mexicans living over. We got a lot of Indians living here too. Who live in the country of India? They live around here too. But there's no problem around here. The police doing pretty well now. So they're doing pretty good now.
General Antochkin and his fleet of 80 helicopters were sent from Moscow to fight the blaze and put the fire out.
Now around here they haven't. I mean, during the day everything's fine. At night when there's problems in this town. When darkness hits, then there's problems. But during the day, there's no problems. So we're doing pretty good. So yeah, right now it's pretty good.
The instrument for measuring radiation only went up to 500 Roentgens. The needle was going crazy. It was completely off the scale. I think there were at least 1,000 Roentgens at a height of 200 meters.
No, not really. Not really. I know we're trying to be rude enough, but no, not really, no. There's a couple around here, but I don't have to worry about it because I carry something. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm carrying something half the time. If I have to go out at night, I carry something with me.
Something needed to be done as quickly as possible. Put out the fire and seal up the reactor to be able to get.
I carry a R35 name on the top. It doesn't really matter, does it?
We really needed to act fast.
The gigantic ballet begins. Top pilots have been rushed back from the Afghan front to fly helicopters carrying soldiers.
I'm relaxing right now, doing what I feel like doing right now.
fire by filling the reactor with tons of sand and boric acid, which neutralizes radiation. The first day, 110 sorties. The next, 300. The radiation
I don't think I'm going to go to Dad's today. Or Main Street.
Almost 9 times the lethal dose. Some of the pilots make up to 33 flights in a single day.
Each
I don't know what I'm going to do.
they received 5 or 6 lunches. If they were slow, it was even more. After throwing 6, 7, 8 bags, they were drenched in sweat from the heat.
I know, I'm just stretching.
After a few
So yeah, we've been standing for a while.
they would go wash up and eat. After a while, they'd start throwing up.
Nope, there's no Papa John's in 3 Rivers.
Since the crisis began, radiation victims have been sent to Moscow's hospital number 6. It has the country's only service, which
I never
specializes
ever had Papa John's pizza, so I would not. So no, I never had Papa John's pizza.
massive doses of radiation exposure.
I had Domino's, I had Little Caesars, I had Pizza Hut, Hungry Howie's, but never had Papa John's.
Vomiting, nausea, and diarrhea are followed by a latency period. It's
So,
only later
never had Papa John's.
clinical symptoms appear, such as deterioration of bone marrow and horrible burns that eat flesh down to the bone.
We have Little Caesars, Pizza Hut. That's it. And then we have a few other local places places here in town.
They came straight from the airport. Almost all of them were young. They arrived.
I really had Hungry Howie's a couple times. We used to have one here in 3 Rivers before I lived here. Nope, never had Jets. We don't have Jets around here.
Wearing the same pajamas. They were making jokes.
We have a lot of local pizza places here in town, which is surprising. I mean, me personally, I prefer 5-star pizza. That's pretty good.
27 of them died quite quickly.
5-star is good.
They'd all received huge doses of
I wish those market was still here in 3 Rivers. Wait, make some porn. Yeah, porn it. All right. I wish I could make some money on YouTube. 15 pounds of it. Yeah, it's the cheapest still. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Maybe I'll have lunch or pizza. I don't know yet. Maybe we'll have pizza for lunch. I'm not sure.
For 15 years, only the first victims will be
Try to buy a lunch
by
kit.
authorities.
Yeah, I can always get a lunch kit. Tyler, keep some money and buy a lunch kit just in case.
30 kilometers east of the plant, the forest has been scorched by the radioactive blast from the
Yeah, and today's supposed to be nice, so who knows? I might get a lunch kit today. Or I might get Subway, I'm not sure.
disaster area already stretches well beyond.
It's where you get pizza and a drink. It's where you get pizza and a pop for like $6 at Little Caesars. That's a lunch special.
A leopard spot
But
pattern of
we'll see what happens.
has affected the Ukraine as well as Belarus and Russia.
Or I might get Subway, I'm not sure yet. Well, I got money, so I'm gonna say make sure I can.
The wind shifts, and areas of Kiev are
I take that, so let me have 120 left.
This map, drawn up from the readings
That's rubles, so I'm not telling you how much money I actually got. No, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
The seriously contaminated areas appear in red, surrounded by areas where the radiation level was normal.
I'll have over 120.
The population is still kept in the dark. There is a
Right now, I have that much.
article on the bottom of page 3 of the Prague,
I got a few
playing down
bucks hidden around the house. I could use that.
past.
Rufus came in, and they were acting as if nothing was happening. By going ahead with the daily
There's 4.
activities, it was the-
Colin, Bronson, Homer, and DeConcha, I think.
That was the second thing.
I haven't had 5-star pizza in a couple of years. I had 5-star pizza
6
a
days
couple years ago. I went to 5-star pizza, got me pizza from 5-star a couple years ago,
1,000 times higher.
and did a video on it.
Authorities
Took some pictures, put it on Facebook.
participate in May Day celebrations, even in areas they knew to be seriously contaminated.
I watched the May Day 1986 festivities with my own eyes.
No, you get pretty good sized pizzas for the price you pay.
And I witnessed it.
If I still live in Colin, I'd be getting 5-star pizzas today for dinner or lunch. I pick it up to get home.
There those were terrible deaths.
Yes. Это страшно.
Everyone's still living in Cole, Michigan. I'd be buying 5-star pizza right now.
Footage of May
They open up
1986 has now disappeared from the Ukrainian
those.
National Archives. All that remains
I think the shell does, but I never had the pizza before. Ooh, I can also do it too, but I'm not going to do that. I can also grab some from Shell, but I'm not going to.
Also went to the festivities with his family and his grandchildren. Though it's true that in theory that seemed very important to us. To avoid any panic. But had we known how much radioactivity was already in the air,
How many were contaminated during the festivities? Not a single study has yet been published. Chelynsky, first secretary of the Ukrainian Communist Party, later committed suicide. One week after the explosion, the exodus continues. The inhabitants of the city of Chernobyl, 7 kilometers from the plant, are evacuated. So are all the villages within 30-kilometer radius around the plant. 130,000 people are moved, many of whom have already been dangerously contaminated. The 300,000 hectare area
We got water. We got Mercy. We have water systems. We have to get. What do the animals do? We have Mercy water. We have sunshades for them, so they'll be okay.
A vast region uprooted, an entire culture ripped from its land, a world wiped out in a few days' time by an invisible enemy.
Это было хуже войны. It was worse than the war. Here you couldn't see the enemy. In the war,
Any of the
machine guns, the tanks.
last year, yeah, one did, but it was 15. It was old, so yeah.
The radiation is everywhere.
But I have no footage of that animal, so it doesn't really matter.
It goes right through you. It gets into you.
I mean, we had a couple, but it was, they were up there in age.
Sometimes years later. It's terrifying.
Meanwhile, the radioactive cloud continues to drift over Europe. It floats over Bavaria and northern Italy. Radioactive cesium-137 and iodine-131 rain down on the south of France and Corsica.
But
Crops and
this is it? No, not really.
contaminated. While French authorities deny its presence, the cloud reaches.
But besides, both animals, peacefully. But yeah, it's okay.
In Chernobyl, the level
No,
of radioactivity
not today. No,
continues to climb.
I'll do it in a couple days.
6,000
Takes a while to play the game, I've hooked I know, do pinball, do this, do that. Takes time to do that stuff, which I don't want to do that stuff right now, guys. I want to relax.
Days after the disaster, Gorbachev personally invites Hans Blix, director of the powerful International Atomic Energy Agency, to visit the site.
So no, I'm busy today, so I can't.
And the first Westerner to visit Chernobyl.
Well, we have seen the site from the air, and we have seen that the little smoke is still coming up from the damaged plant.
There was really no talk about that risk of a second explosion, and I remember that when we were in Moscow, actually, we had a friend, a relative of one of my experts, phoned in and said, well, we hear rumors that the second reactor might also explode.
I told him to do it perfectly fine.
At the bottom of the reactor, 195 tons of nuclear fuel are still burning, giving off incredible heat that is gradually melting the sand. On the surface,
So I don't know what we're doing today yet, guys.
begin to appear.
I could play Road Coaster Tycoon, but that takes me about 2 hours to do it.
Once we plugged up the hole, the temperature started to rise. We were afraid that because it could have caused another
I don't know what we're gonna do yet.
It was terrifying. Scientists came to take readings. They were very worried. They were afraid the critical temperature would be reached and it would set off a second explosion. That would have been a terrible tragedy.
The cement slab below the reactor core is heating up and in danger of cracking. The magma is threatening to seep through. The water the firemen poured during the first hours of the disaster has cooled below the slab. If the radioactive magma makes contact with the water,
Still don't know what we're gonna do yet.
it will set off a second explosion even more devastating than the first. The country's top experts have called into action. Vasily Nestorenko was one of them. At the time, he was working on improving the Soviet Union's intercontinental nuclear missiles.
If the heat managed to crack the cement slab, only 1,400 kilograms of uranium and graphite mixture would have needed to hit the water to set off a new explosion.
So we'll see what we're doing tomorrow. But yeah, right now we're just having a fun video today.
The ensuing chain reaction could set off an explosion comparable to a gigantic atomic bomb.
I should do that real quick so I don't forget.
Our experts studied the possibility and concluded that the explosion
I gotta do some real quick tomorrow.
megatons. Minsk, which is 320 kilometers from Chernobyl, would have been razed and Europe rendered uninhabitable. We had to stop the process. We will see. If it continues, it will be an enormous disaster. An enormous nuclear disaster.
How's this breakfast?
This second explosion would have been accompanied by a terrible shockwave and a massive rise in radioactivity that would have claimed thousands of lives in a matter of hours.
Thank God it didn't happen. There were trains with over 1,000 cars in Minsk, Gomel, and Kiev, ready to evacuate the population.
The situation is critical. In Moscow, the State Commission decrees 2 emergency measures. First, send in a battalion of firemen to drain the water from under the reactor. They will later be declared national heroes, but will suffer from radiation sickness for the rest of their lives. Second, seal the breach more effectively to bring the temperature down once and for all. In 2 days, General Antochkin's men will drop 2,400 tons of lead into the reactor.
When they started dumping lead, the temperature went down right away. It absorbed well and sealed the hole as it melted, so there was less radiation.
But some of this lead melts when it hits the blaze and vaporizes into the atmosphere. 20 years later, traces of it can be found in the sick children of Chernobyl.
There's a church up here in 3 years. I think I'd be going there right now. Breakfast instead of going here. So doing not that. There's no trust up here in 3 hours.
Given the situation, there
Like
was
this?
no
Yeah.
better solution. And all the people, military or civilians, officers or not, worked selflessly. I participated in this first stage, and I can tell you, it had to be done. It
Not yet,
was
no.
heroism.
We get 5-6 trains a
During
day.
this operation, 600 pilots are fatally contaminated with
I
radiation.
haven't heard one yet. It was surprising.
Will die. But their efforts
They go in, they're going.
by a few days. Although it has been covered over, the fire still isn't out. Flying over in helicopters isn't solving the problem. They need to get closer, go down into the breach. But how? With the imminent threat of a second explosion still looming, the makeshift measures continue. The blueprints of the plant reveal that the active zone can be approached through the cable and pipe tunnels built out of thick cement.
Every time that there's a
A delegation of technicians.
train does stop sometimes, but it doesn't about traffic. No, never has, never will. Like I used to go down. Not as bad as you see the news reports. You see the trains blocking road stuff. Doesn't happen here.
They pierce through the shell of the fourth reactor with a blowtorch and stick their radioactivity detectors and thermometers in, along with cameras. The result is terrifying. The radiation levels are astronomical, and their worst fears are confirmed. The white-hot magma has cracked the cement slab and seeped into the empty basin. It is now threatening to sink even further.
And to my knowledge, no fires in the tire shop. No.
Risk of explosion. We drain the water from under the reactor, but something absolutely had to be done. Something had to be put underneath the reactor to keep the magma from seeping down. Something had to keep it from falling inwards.
Nothing is stopping the magma from seeping even deeper into the sandy subsoil. And beneath the reactor lies a huge stretch aquifer that supplies the entire country with water.
What worried us the most was that the entire mass would sink down and reach the groundwater, which then would pollute the rivers Pripyat, then Dnieper, Kiev, the Black Sea. We absolutely needed to come up with a solution.
A new operation is considered, but it will entail the loss of more lives. On the 12th of May, 1986, 17 days after the initial explosion, the miners at Tula, 1,000 kilometers from Chernobyl, receive a visit from the Kremlin, from the Deputy Minister of the Mining Industry.
The minister spoke to us about the accident at Chernobyl. He said they needed miners from our region, the Moscow basin. He gave us 24 hours to gather our belongings. The next day, we were bused from that very square to the airport in Moscow. On the 13th of May, our comrades were already at work at Chernobyl.
I'm going to.
Approach the reactor through what is now
I will do a short one, but that was already planned to do that video.
Our mission was this: dig a 150-meter tunnel from the third block to the fourth, a tunnel 30 meters long. Then dig a room 30 meters long and 30 meters wide to hold a refrigeration device for cooling down the reactor.
See ya.
To limit their exposure to radiation, the miners dig 12 meters down before making their way over to the burning reactor. There, they build a room 2 meters high and 30 meters wide, where a complex cooling system of liquid nitrogen will be set up. In 1 month, 10,000 miners from Russia and the mining regions of Ukraine are sent down into the tunnel. They're between 20 and 30 years old. Inside the tunnel, which has no ventilation, the temperature hits 50 degrees Celsius, and radioactivity is at a minimum of 1 Roentgen per hour.
Wow, 120 degrees? Wow.
They worked without any protective gear. The miners couldn't use masks because the filters would get damp after a few minutes. So everyone just took them off and kept on working without them, with our shirts off too. We drank water out of open bottles, which was really bad because the radioactive particles were ingested right into our body.
One of our comrades swallowed a grain of sand that was highly radioactive. He died. How can we know what each of us breathed or ingested?
The hardest thing was the lack of oxygen. And the incredible heat. It was hot, hot, hot. And we had to work really fast. At a crazy pace. Faster and faster. That was the hardest. Go, go, go.
Battalions of 30 miners relay each other every 3 hours, 24 hours a day. In 1 month and 4 days, they dig a 150-meter tunnel, a job that in a mine would have normally taken 3 months.
Wow.
The most dangerous places were not underground. There wasn't as much radiation below the reactors. But as soon as we came up, we had to run even faster.
Radioactivity at the mouth of the tunnel is 300 times higher. Not a single miner is spared from exposure. Not once are they informed of the real dangers they are facing.
Someone had to go and do it. Us or someone else. We did our duty. Should we have done it? It's too late to judge. I don't regret anything.
The miners accomplish their mission. The cooling system is never set up below the reactor. The underground room is finally filled with cement to solidify the structure. The official position is that each miner received 30 to 60 Romgens, but survivors claim they received up to 5 times that amount. It is estimated that a fourth of these men died before the age of 40. 2,500 lives lost that don't appear in any official statistic. While the miners are still digging below the reactor, Hans Blix, with Soviet authorities, organizes a press conference in Moscow.
Let me say that on behalf of the IAEA, we have expressed profound regret at the tragic accident, the loss of lives, and the damage which has been caused. We have now agreed with the Soviet authorities to come to Vienna for a post-accident analysis.
In front of 500 journalists from all over the world, he announces an international conference that will be held in Vienna, where the Soviets have agreed to share all their data on the disaster.
To analyze the accident. The most important effect of the press conference was that the Russian people felt that we can believe these guys. They were used to having a government that they didn't believe one word in, and accidents and disasters were usually suppressed. They didn't inform about them. So what they'd heard about this was just kept them worried that it might be even worse. It was bad enough, to be sure, but they felt that it's these guys we trust. So this was a victory for glasnost.
The Soviets agreed to cooperate fully with the West, an historic change that begins an era of openness, which became a political victory for Gorbachev, who sorely needs it. Because in Chernobyl, although the fire is now being kept in check, the breach and tons of highly radioactive rubble lie exposed to the elements. It is of the utmost urgency to cover the broken structure and clean up the zone. But for that, more men will be needed, many more men.
Добрый вечер, товарищи.
18 days after the disaster, Gorbachev finally addresses the Soviet people.
Авария на Чернобыльской атомной электростанции. Она больно затронула советских людей, взволновала международную общественность. Мы впервые реально столкнулись с которой является вышедшие из Вся работа, по сути, ведется круглосуточно. Задействованы научные, технические, экономические возможности всей страны.
The entire country was mobilized. No bureaucratic formality. If someone had what we needed, we took it. No formality. We'd worry about the cost later. We took whatever we needed. It was a frontline situation.
General Nikolai Tarakanov is sent to command the land troops.
In 1 year, 100,000 soldiers and officers passed through Chernobyl. They were all reservists. They were summoned up by top administration in their cities and sent to the front.
Military personnel or civilians, officers or simple soldiers, all of them are liquidators, a term invented by Chernobyl. Their mission: clean up, liquidate the radioactivity.
Сначала ходишь первые дни, прячешься, надеваешь маску, а потом уже забываешь, что это на производстве, уже забываешь одевать ее. Уже как дома, чувствуешь себя ничего, привыкаешь дома.
Все улыбаются, все довольны. Водку не продают. Вообще в Москве такой слух был, что на Чернобыль проезжает, водителям каждый день дают 150 грамм.
Я с женой разговаривал, и рассказываю, говорю, столовую заходишь 150, выходишь 150. Когда ты будешь откушивать...
I'm gonna check some more quick real quick before we get. I need to check some real quick.
Igor Goldstein was one of 5 war reporters authorized by the Kremlin to cover the battle. At first, the country kept everything hidden. 3 of his colleagues are now dead.
There were no titles, no ministers, generals, or soldiers. No one was saying, I'm a general, do what I say. Everyone was honestly doing what they could. And so the operation named the liquidation of the Chernobyl accident was set in motion.
100,000 troops, as well as 400,000 civilians, workers, engineers, nurses, doctors, and scientists from every Soviet republic passed through Chernobyl. The Soviet Union is waging its last major battle.
500,000 people. The troops in Chernobyl were bigger than Napoleon's, but our army got contaminated.
From the sky, helicopters drop tons of a sticky liquid dubbed burba, a mixture that coagulates and plasters the radioactive dust to the ground. Meanwhile, brigades of liquidators are put in charge of cleaning up the zone, and house by house of removing the layer of radioactive dust that covers everything.
Создавали специальные бригады охотников, которые
Special hunting squads were formed. They patrolled the countryside and forest with rifles, killing cats and dogs.
All the animals have to be killed because when they wander through the highly contaminated zones, their fur soaked up the radioactivity. They could contaminate the liquidators. The last villages with people still remaining in the zone are evacuated. The houses are knocked down one by one and buried. At night, the trucks, the machines, and the men are covered in radioactive dust.
We would wash 5 or 6 times in the shower. We helped each other. We used the hand glove and the roughest soap available.
Хорошая мочалка и самое суровое хозяйственное мыло, которое стирает белье солдатское. Там много чего.
We scrubbed away.
Голова, все тело по 5-3 раза, пока уже не устаешь.
We put on new clothes, then we ate. We ate really well there. Because you need to keep your strength up to fight the ionizing radiation.
And you were being a reporter.
Ionizing radiation seeks out the weak spots in your body.
ты должен быть очень крепкий. Очень крепкий. И ионизирующее вот излучение.
That's why it finds a way in and knocks you out.
И туда стреляет.
Okay.
Around the plant, a colossal operation is set in motion. It goes on 7 days a week, without a single day off. 300,000 cubic meters of contaminated earth are bulldozed into huge ditches and covered over with cement.
Здесь, вокруг 4-го блока.
This spot, around the fourth reactor, is where the most dangerous missions of the zone are.
8 weeks after the explosion, the liquidators tackle the heart of the problem. In order to neutralize the toxic waste for the long term and prevent it from spreading even more, the entire blown-out reactor has to be isolated. Lev Polchakov was one of the engineers who designed the enormous structure that would entirely cover the fourth reactor. A sarcophagus of steel and concrete, 170 meters long and 66 meters high.
Этому шло и проектирование. It was one of a kind, a unique project. No one had ever built such a structure in a zone this radioactive. It could only work a few minutes at a time. That had never been done before.
It is an enormous challenge. How do you build a monumental structure in a place where humans can work for only a few minutes, or even just seconds at a time? This utterly new situation will require more improvisation from the liquidators and put more lives at risk. It has now been more than 12 weeks since the initial blast at block number 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. To stop the deadly contamination, the final attack is launched. Radioactivity in this sector is so high that only remote-controlled machines can be sent in. But people will have to get the machines into position. Workers can only stay a few minutes without receiving a fatal dose of radiation. With each second, their lives are more and more threatened.
Here's one of the armored vehicles. It looks primitive, but we have to build them ourselves. We lined the cabs entirely with lead to protect our soldiers from the radiation as best we could.
Each metallic piece of the structure is prefabricated, sometimes hundreds of kilometers away, then brought one by one onto the site for assembly. An extraordinary jigsaw puzzle. Beams 150 tons and 70 meters long. Buttresses 45 meters high.
That's the DMAP 4000.
Вот видите, какой человек.
Look at the size of this crane. We couldn't work very long on the side, and there was no room for error. The slightest miscalculation, and it would have been impossible to fit it all together.
Despite the extreme conditions, work progresses. 100,000 cubic meters of cement are used to make the structure. The discovery of a new problem forces the work to a halt. The roof of the plant is covered in highly contaminated pieces of graphite.
Вот здесь, в том месте, где мы стоим сейчас, здесь стоит нет. Это будет придёт написано. Вот около вот этого колпака примерно 200. Все, пойдемте. На сегодня хватит нам. Выходим, пойдем. И ты тоже выходи оттуда.
These pieces of graphite envelop uranium rods. They've been blown from the reactor during the explosion. One single piece gives off enough radioactivity to kill a man in less than 1 hour. They absolutely have to be gotten rid of before construction continues.
Там очень большие уровни радиоактивного излучения, поэтому туда подойти крайне тяжело. Ну и зачем туда пускать людей, когда вы не детей?
Robots are sent onto the roof to shove the lethal debris over the edge. 60 meters below, other robots gather it up and bury it in ditches. But after a few days, the ambient radioactivity begins to affect even the machines. Their electronic circuitry can't hold up. They go berserk and break down. One of them hurtles itself into the breach. On the roof, robotic machines are no longer an option. Men will have to replace them. Russian soldiers, nicknamed bio-robots for the occasion.
I need to make some money.
No human has ever worked in zones as radioactive.
But eventually I'll make some money eventually. But right now we're just having some fun right now, like we've been doing.
Tarakanov is in command of the operation and personally oversees every detail, down to the hand-sewn lead suits that every soldier is forced to make the night before the attack.
Сюда, на затылок, плавочки.
On their fronts, on their backs, in their boots.
Маску, потом
They were covered.
What, baby?